All right. Well, welcome to Summit Center for Spiritual Living, where we share universal good through love. And with that, John's going to sing us a song.
After the candle?
No, after the candle. Michael's going to do the candle. I didn't do it last week, so I'm all confused. Go ahead.
Well, good morning, everyone. So I light our candle this morning, and our candle in the wax represents that there's only one, and that the first wick I light represents again that the light of God that's within all of us. That's what all the great sages and saints and avatars have all told us. And again, that when we meet together in community, that we do shine a much greater light into the world. So thank you.
All right. Well, thank you. And now John's going to sing us a song.
All right. You can sing along. It's a new start for a new month. Happy March.
Right.
We are making a new start, willing to do our part, getting better day by day. Creative action is another good start, from the heart to living in a better way. Working together with the skills of many hands, helping each other make the best life we can. We are making a new start, willing to do our part, getting better day by day. Creative action is an art, a good start, from the heart to living a better way. Life becoming better as harm and suffering cease. With kindness for each other, we'll live and grow in peace. Making a new start, awareness growing here and there, as we care for one another. Love powers everywhere. We are making a new start, willing to do our part, getting better day by day. Creative action is an art, a good start, from the heart for living in a better way. For living in a better way. For living in a better way.
Thank you, John. That was beautiful. And welcome, Tim. Lovely to see you. We're glad you're here. All right. So, Carol Ann, would you like to do the meditation today?
Absolutely.
Okay, wonderful. We're going to do 365, Michael. I just was asking. So, Michael, how about if you do 365? Science of mind.
Well, I'd be honored.
Thank you.
If I can find it here, which I will. Okay. So I'm reading out of Science of Mind 365, and the every month that the editors, they put in kind of a theme for the month. And so in March, it's faith. And so Ernest Holmes wrote that faith is a mental attitude that is so convinced of its own idea, which so completely accepts it that any contradiction is unthinkable and impossible. And today's reading is about faith. It says a spiritual mind treatment or an affirmation of truth or a prayer of faith, once made and completely accepted, is then acted upon by the law of mind, and the effort or result is independent of the person who has made the prayer. In order to understand this idea more closely, let's take a simple fact in nature. We bury an acorn in the ground and we walk away from it knowing that someday an oak tree will grow. In the same way, our word is acted upon creatively by some type of intelligent force or law, which knows how to create the form that the word implies. Every scientist follows the same method in dealing with the principles of nature. We have every reason to believe that there is a creative law that acts upon our acceptance. The law is always equipped to know how to do what we accept it doing. It is the same law that has governed all prayers of faith throughout the ages and brought about the results that have always been looked upon as miracles. They are miracles in the same sense that is a miracle for an egg to hatch. Faith, affirmation, and acceptance are acted upon by some creative intelligence. So today I have faith in my own affirmations. I know that there is a power and a presence flowing in and through me, taking the form of my belief, acting upon my acceptance, answering my prayer, and fulfilling my affirmations. Therefore, I am calling upon myself for a deeper faith, a broader conviction, a higher acceptance, and a more complete realization. I affirm that every good thing that I do will prosper. Every person I meet will be blessed. Every situation I touch will be helped. Everywhere I go, some subtle influence of love and joy and peace will diffuse itself as a glow from the eternal light of heaven itself. And from the book of James, the 2nd chapter, seest thou how faith wrought with his works, and by works was faith made perfect.
Right. Thank you, Michael. And John's going to do a song, and then Carol Ann, thank you so much for last minute approving doing the meditation or opening treatment or a combination of the two. Well, whatever you want to call it. So, all right. So, John, I'm going to turn it over to you. Thank you.
Source of real source to heal.
We bow our heads and focus on our breathing. Just very gently become one. One with our breath. One with all that there is. And allow that breath to carry us deeper, deeper into presence, deeper into this moment. For this moment is the only moment that we have. And allow all the thoughts and the clutter of the mind to just disappear. And focus on our breath. And allow it to take us deep. Past all the thoughts, past all the worries. As we go deep within. Our breath is amazing. It can calm us. It can bring us here into the present moment. And it can also take us deeper within. And let's just accept and know for this moment and forever, each moment, there really is a power. There really is a presence. There really is a life force in the universe that guides and directs us. And it is as close as our breath. The breath of life, the breath of love, the breath of health. As we take it and allow ourselves to go deeper within. It's such a gentle process. Easy to forget. But as soon as we remember and we turn back, that presence, that power of the universe is right there with us. Waiting for us to call upon us. But it is the Father's good pleasure to give us the kingdom. And whatever we ask for, it is amazing how it can turn around. So just take a few minutes and ask for whatever is on your heart. And very gently ask for what your deepest desire is. And then trust. Simply trust that it is being taken care of. And that trust means no worry, no complaining, just accepting and knowing when thoughts of questions come up that is being taken care of and that you will be shown the way. So simple. It's so simple. Just allowing ourselves to be in this place of oneness, this place of total freedom. Our body enjoys this place. It's a place of healing. It is a place of just simply being one. And so let's gently come back, knowing that whatever has been heavy in our heart is there, it's being taken care of. And we simply say, thank you. Thank you, Father, Mother, God. Thank you for the truth that sets us free. Thank you for the oneness. And so it is. Oh.
We are alone to find healing love.
Okay, so as you open your eyes, please make sure you open your cameras and look into each other's eyes to see the magnificence, which is you, inside of each other and around us and through us and as us and everywhere else. And thank you very much, Carol Ann, especially for that last minute. Beautiful meditation, and John, the music has been great. So I thank you all. Okay, so I'm going to turn this over to Michael, who is Reverend Michael, who's going to talk today about Lent. I'm not sure. I know it's got something to do with Lent. Anyways, go ahead.
Well, no, the topic that I gave you is a New Thought Lent, 40 days.
A New Thought Lent. Okay, all right.
But anyhow, well, good morning, everyone. And so this week I was working on my report to Centers for Spiritual Living. It's the yearly report that I have to give as a licensed minister. And the one thing that I my heart was filled with, again, talking about us here in Akron and about how close that I feel to you, closer than my birth family. So I appreciate each and every one of you. So thank you for being a part of my life and for us sharing this time on Sundays. So welcome to March, what I call the in-between time. So during March, the weather goes from warm one day to cold the next. So from the Christian calendar, we are in the season of Lent, and we're preparing for Easter Sunday on April the 5th of this year. So Lent from the Christian tradition is traditionally a time of reflection, spiritual practice, and penance. So most of us who grew up Catholic remember this time is a time of giving up something, especially something you liked, like candy. So now in our New Thought tradition, the letters Lent stand for Let's Eliminate Negative Thinking. Let's eliminate negative thinking. A great book, and there's still time to read it, is called Charles Fillmore, Keeping a True Lent, which is available online for free. So in an introduction to the devotional book, noted Unity minister and author Georgiana Tree West wrote this. She said that the Christian world once again is observing the Lenten season of prayer and fasting that precedes the joyous festivity of Easter. It is commonly believed that the Lenten period has to do with the events of the 40 days preceding the resurrection. The ancient Hebrew writers made a practice of using numbers to symbolize ideas. 40 in their minds was a four-square number, suggesting the idea of a foundation for something to follow, an idea of completeness. So the number 40 is frequently used in Scripture to indicate a completed preparation for something to follow. So when we consider Lent as a well-rounded or completed season of retreat from the things of the world for a cleansing of the mind and the recollection of the things of the Spirit, it then becomes a true season of preparation for the glorious Eastertide, a preparation for the resurrection of the mind from the darkness of its sin, doubt, and false beliefs into the understanding of light. So this time before Easter, again, it's the preparation for spring. It's a time of new growth and a time of beauty after a dark and dreary winter season. So in the past here at Summit Center for Spiritual Living, I would introduce a practice, a spiritual practice that would prepare us for a time of resurrection and new growth. And this is one I've never done, and this is one that I dusted off for my time in Pittsburgh. So today, we're going to talk a little bit about the life of Judge Thomas Troward, his belief about spiritual evolution. And I'm going to give you, and something that I'm going to have to send you, which is the Spring House Cleaning Spiritual Mind Treatment that is nicknamed the Roto-Rooter for the Soul. And so the reason why we're doing this is so that we can experience our own new growth in consciousness by Easter. Many of the notes today, and again, in going through the notes today, I do in honor of my late spiritual teacher, Tom Sennar. Tom was a real gift to me. Before his passing, I was able to be in his classes, and also he was an instructor of mine at Holmes Institute. Tom taught me the science of mind. He took me to depths that I had never done before. And again, I'd been in this teaching for well over 30 years before meeting Tom. So a lot of what I'm sharing with you today, again, is from my personal notes from Dr. Sennar. So who was Judge Thomas Troward? So Tom wrote that Thomas Troward was born in 1847 in India to British parents. His father was a full colonel, and at the age of 5, Thomas returned to England to attend school. And at the age of 18, he graduated from college with gold medal honors in literature. He then decided to study law, although he always considered himself to be an artist and a painter. So he returned to India, and he took a very difficult civil service exam and became a divisional judge, similar to a trial court judge here in America. So while in India, he learned the language of the countries, the different languages. He studied all the Bibles of the world, including the Quran, the Hindu scriptures, and the book on Raja Yoga. He taught himself Sanskrit and studied the Gita. His studies in original Hebrew provided the foundation for his book, Bible Mysteries and Bible Meaning. So shortly after he retired, he returned to England, and he started writing for New Thought publications. Now, again, let's understand that this whole philosophy of New Thought was blossoming all over the world, and that Troward came to the same conclusions that many individuals came to here in this country and also around the world about God and also the nature of spiritual principles. Now, a lot of people really think that Thomas Troward is very difficult to read, and if you go ahead and you read the Edinburgh Lectures, you'll see why. It's said that when individuals heard Judge Troward give the Edinburgh Lectures, that they said, "What are you talking about?" So he then went ahead and he wrote the Dorey Lectures, but Judge Troward wrote in a very legalistic style. The secret to understanding Thomas Troward is understand his major premise and then how he logically argues that from that premise. And again, this is a typical style of the Western legal mind. And again, my teacher, Tom Sennar, was also a practicing attorney. So again, he became a major influence in New Thought, and in 1916, again, at the age of 69, he passed from this plane. But again, he remains to be a very important part of New Thought literature, plus also the main foundation for what we call the science of mind and spirit. Ernest Holmes said that we are more than 50% Thomas Troward. So I want to explain a little bit about the philosophy of Troward that really made a really big difference in my life. And my prayer today is that this will make a big difference in yours. So Judge Troward developed a philosophy based upon, again, his studies. And from Dr. Tom's notes about Troward's view on evolution and spiritual growth, he wrote that there are two important stages of evolution. Now, the first is mechanical evolution. And evolution proceeds mechanically and generally by the law of averages. Think Darwin. Okay. So that's one part of growth. Again, the law of averages. The law of averages explains the evolutionary working of cosmic intelligence without the conscious participation of the self-conscious individual. So when we're not aware of who we are spiritually, what happens is that, again, things happen haphazardly. Cosmic intelligence then works by a law of averages, which allows a wide margin of accident or failure in the individual. In the individual, there's always error, there's always failure, there's always death. But if we see the whole picture, life always prevails. So we can subject ourselves to the law of averages, where things happen to us. Or we can go ahead and we can decide to transcend, to take a different route, to go ahead and to use a higher law by taking dominion, by using what Troward called the personal factor. So again, the law of averages, and then the personal factor, the awareness that we are spiritual beings. And again, the personal factor, Troward and also Tom Sanor wrote, is the decision of the self-conscious individual to consciously participate in the evolutionary process. This begins when individuals discover or realize that they are intimately connected with the universal power of God. Up to the introduction of the personal factor, evolution proceeds mechanically. Darwin, the law of averages. So again, this is Troward. It says, without the element of individual personality, spirit can only work cosmically by a generic law. But this law admits a far higher speculation, and this speculation can only be obtained through this introduction of what's called the personal factor. So to continue in this process, there's something within us that awakens. The self-conscious mind individual decides to participate. Individuals, again, this is from within, that they must become aware of the relationship between their thinking and the outpicturing of their reality. Now, once they make that connection, they can consciously choose how to think. You can consciously choose how to think. They need, though, spirit to provide the potential, the ingredients, and the energy. And then spirit needs them to come into a conscious realization of that they are spiritual beings. It's through individuals exercising free and positive choices that universal spirit can manifest itself. So once again, up to a point that we are run by, again, by the law of averages. But there is a point that comes in which we can make a choice. We can go ahead and we can choose. We can, again, and I'm thinking of, again, the law of aerodynamics. Again, if you go to an airport, you see a huge airplane that weighs thousands of pounds. And again, it's held down by the law of gravity. But once again, it gets going, and then what happens is a higher law takes effect, the law of aerodynamics. Now, this personal factor involves us surrendering our will and our lives over to the guidance and the care of spirit, where we have a personal relationship with all that is for guidance, direction, and creative power. Surrender is scary. Again, recovering alcoholics say that taking the third step of the 12, which says that making a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood him, is one of the harder ones to take. Again, my observation from working with people in recovery is that the reason it's scary to take the step of surrender is because what are we surrendering into? Are we surrendering into the hands of an angry God that we learned about in childhood? Again, or are we surrendering into love? And again, from Dr. Tom's material, the surrender is a part of the reciprocal nature of the universe. Reciprocity is the energy process whereby the individual becomes individual and the individual becomes universal. The circulation of universal energy moves from the universal to the particular and then back to the universal. And this movement of consciousness of being to the faculty of doing. Human beings become spiritual beings, or they are spiritual beings, are distributing centers of divine substance and participate in the law of divine circulation. So what happens is this is caused by what's called the reciprocal action. And again, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this today, but it's where that we spend time each and every day, especially in the first two steps of treatment, the recognition and the unification steps, where we go ahead and we just immerse ourselves in oneness. And it's from that oneness then that we get, that the universe gives to us, that we're able to get wisdom and guidance from the universe. So that's the first part of this reciprocal action, where we listen to the universe. All right, so that's the first part. The second part is, again, in the rest of spiritual mind treatment. The realization, thanksgiving, and release is when once we are one with this one power and one presence, we're consciously aware of that, then from that wisdom, from that guidance, then we give back to the universe. We are creative like our creator. So again, that first part where we deeply listen, the universe is giving to us. And then in the second part is where, again, that's spirit. And then in the second part, then that's love. The second part is the law, where we command the law, not from an egoic self, not from a human self, but from a place of God consciousness, God awareness, the Christ consciousness, the Buddha consciousness. So what Dr. Tom and Troward is saying is that there's a relationship, there's a reciprocity. Again, we listen to the guidance and direction of all that is, where we are the receivers and the spirit is the giver. Then with this guidance and direction, the roles are switched. We then give direction then to the great law of life, with the law saying yes and manifesting our desires. Troward wrote that we can create from ourselves and get into a great deal of trouble. And people have learned this, again, just using just mind science, just coming from a place of, again, the egoic self. However, when we get guidance and direction on what to and how to pray for first, recognition and unification, and then again, that listening part, we are allowing ourselves to be distributors of the great universal power that will create in a right manner. So I'm not going to, again, ask you to do a public prayer of surrender to the all that is. Again, that's done personally. I can tell you, though, that this kind of relationship with God is wonderful. You are not surrendering over to the hands of an angry God. You are asking now to be guided and directed by the whole universe. I talk to God much like I talk to you. And then I listen. The inner peace I feel each and every day is just incredible. And because of this relationship, then I can pray with power. So we further our evolution by embodying what's called the 7 aspects of God. And that's what this Roto-Rooter of the soul will help you do over the next few weeks. From Dr. Tom, it says there's 7 principles of spirit or divine mind. And I can just look into the camera and say love, life, light, peace, power, beauty, joy. And there's a few more that I added, which is abundance, creativity, and also wisdom. So those are the aspects of spirit. And again, if you were Dr. Tom's student, you know, you had to memorize those because that was part of your exam. So what happens is that the individual then becomes the normal standard of personality. Okay, so the normal standard of personality is us being awakened through the process of what's called true worship. So the individual opens and surrenders to the divine. Cosmic intelligence then becomes individualized, and the individual intelligence becomes universalized. I am that person that thou art. Thou art that person that I am. So the divine personality is Trower's normal standard of personality. And it's when that we embody the principles of spirit and we live from love, life, light, peace, power, beauty, and joy. The building of God in man, which is symbolized by the pyramids, must take place in the individual. So, because the goal here over the next several weeks is to embody these aspects here, I've written a spring house cleaning treatment that cleans out the old that you can live on. We'll go through that here in a moment. The treatment that, when said out loud with power and authority, orders the subconscious to do the work of cleaning. And that I got that, again, that's from directly some of the beginning materials from the Science of Mind and Spirit. Remember, for things to change in our lives, we must give conscious directive to the subconscious. Do not wonder how it's to be done. Just trust the process and watch your dreams. And again, in this process, in this internal cleansing, you may feel a little sad some days or angry or hurt. Again, just trust the process. The feelings are coming up for a reason to be released. And again, there's an internal cleansing that's going on. I know I have covered a lot here, and we're going to go into the treatment here in just a moment. However, for our lives to really change, we must be willing to make the changes. The next few weeks is about, if you want to, about embodying who and what we are. My question to you this morning is this: are you willing to give it a try? We'll conclude our lecture portion by a quote from Georgiana Tree West, who was a wonderful minister in the New York City area, the Unity minister. She says, one of the more valuable ways of observing the Lenten season is to fast from, loose, and let go to the belief that men or nations can stand in the way of God's good will for man. Now is the time to affirm the power of the Christ Spirit indwelling in all men everywhere and influencing their thoughts, words, and actions for the good of the whole. We all want to be of some influence in establishing world peace. To do so, we must learn to obey Paul's exhortation. Let us therefore follow after the things which make for peace. Each one of us must be concerned with improving their own lives. We must learn then to deny our selfish impulses and to be obedient to the impulses of brotherly love. When we withdraw our attention, interest, and support from the false and unworthy, that is true fasting. When we give that same attention, interest, and support to the enduring good, we are feasting on the things of spirit, and this is true prayer. When we have truly fasted in the Christ way, we have increased our ability to respond to God's good will. I'm going to share my screen here, and I'm going to ask everyone mute. And I'm going to ask that you say this prayer with me out loud. This is available if you go ahead and write me at pastormichaelmangus@gmail.com with your email address. I will send a copy of this to you. Okay. All right, so this treatment inspired by Dr. Holmes and Judge Troward writing will act as a spiritual roto-rooter to clean out anything unlike your divine nature. After a time of quiet meditation in the morning and in the evening, use this treatment for 40 days plus of Lent this year. And again, that they're not counting the days, the Sundays. So that's okay. Remember, the definition of Lent is let's eliminate negative thinking. It's also recommended that you have a list of positive affirmations of what you want in your life instead of what you have experienced in the past. State those affirmations out loud and have the feeling of gratitude that they are manifested in your world now. Not manifesting, but manifested. Again, the whole idea that we already have it. Neville Goddard talked about it as the wish fulfilled. So, with your best voice here, let's say this together. And again, say, I'm not going to hear you, but let's just say it out loud with lots of feeling here. Okay. You ready? Let's do this. There's only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect, and that life is my life now. Because I am one with the one life that created everyone and everything. And because I was made in the image and likeness of my Creator, its qualities of love, life, light, peace, power, beauty, and joy are my qualities now. I am the eternal expression of divine unconditional love expressing in and through me now. My heart is now open to be loving and loved. The light of God fills my body, my mind, and affairs with illumination, healing, and peace. I am the individualized expression of the one life itself. My life is filled with abundance and everything good. Peace that passes all understanding is my original nature. No matter what happens outside of me, I'm still centered in that eternal peace. The power of the universe flows through me now, and I now create heaven in my world and in my affairs. My world is beautiful because I am one with beauty itself. And the joy of the Lord is my strength and dances now in my heart. My thoughts of good, now acting now as command and directive, now cleans out from my subconscious storehouse anything that does not express the divine nature as me. So every negative thought, belief, emotion, unforgiveness, hatred, anger, and fear are now ordered to be cleansed out once and for all from me forevermore. Be gone now. I now command my subconscious to hunt down, clean out, and eliminate all false thought patterns of the past. This thought of cleansing frees me now. And again, how the cleansing work is done is none of my business. My subconscious is intelligent and knows how to do this work in peace and ease. My thought is now focused on only love, life, light, peace, power, beauty, and joy. I now think about what I want only. My life is transformed by the renewing of my mind through the divine positive thoughts now flowing in and through me now. I am now free to live my life from present moment awareness. Divine light and love now flood my soul. I live in the eternal now, always expecting and experiencing my life to unfold into more and abundant good. For my freedom, I now give great thanks. Thank you, Spirit, as me, for this awareness of my divine eternal nature. I now release my word into the creative law, knowing it is done now, and so it is, and so it now it is. Amen. So I will share that treatment with you here. I will send that to you. Again, pastormichaelmangus@gmail.com. Send me an email, and I will send that to you in a PDF form. All right. Thank you so very much for your attention. Namaste. The light of God in me salutes the light of God as you. All right. Diana?
Well,
Diana?
that was a mouthful.
Diana?
She left the
Yeah,
stadium.
I'm done.
Hello, everyone. It's time for thank you, Michael, for your talk. Oh boy. So, anyways, it's time for our to do our
Well, let's any
yeah,
comments?
answer questions.
Any
Yes. Comments, questions. Anybody?
I saw Tim applauded.
All right.
No, great lesson as always. Really makes me wish I had studied Troward with Tom Sanner when he was still around. I did hear, I was listening to a talk on Thomas Troward, the history of Thomas Troward the other day about how he had studied all of this before he'd heard of anything having to do with New Thought.
Yes.
I guess it was in the early part of the 20th century. He had a chance meeting with Alice Caro and was introduced to the Center for Higher Thought in London. And after a few years of being a humble student there, they realized, I think this guy has some things he wants to say. Let's give him a set of lectures. And that was the beginning of his lecture series that eventually became the Edinburgh Lectures.
Yeah. Thank you, Tim.
Carol, did you have a comment?
Yeah, I kind of smiled when you said that we grew up learning of a God of wrath, and my experience was God is love. That was drowned into me from the very beginning, and I thought, oh dear, all these people, learning of the wrath of God when what we need to be focusing on in my perception is the love of God. And the love of God says immediately you can turn. It doesn't have to be that long drawn out process. And it's kind of like a aha. Yeah.
And if you do the Roto-Rooter treatment, that will again to dispel all that belief, and again coming into the belief into the hands of a loving God. And again, yeah, and thank you.
Yeah, and the other thing, what always comes to my mind as I go through my day and things come up is it's the Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. So get out of your head, get into the expansiveness of the universe, and you will be amazed.
Very true. John, did you have a comment?
Well, about the wrathful God, I think that there's suggestions that Old Testament angry God may not have been the highest God or the highest source. We'll talk.
So you're going to go Gnostic on me, are you?
We'll talk about that another time.
You're going to. He's going Gnostic on us. Okay.
But that was quite interesting trying to recite that along with you. You know, it was kind of a amazingly long paragraph for all of us to tackle.
We learned from the Old Testament about the angry God, and remember, who was it? Fleeing from the city, and they were warned not to look back. And his wife, Lot's wife, turned back and turned into a pillar of salt. And I thought, oh, gee, you know, if I go the wrong way, I'm going to be this pillar of salt.
So let's understand that the Bible in and of itself is a running commentary of man's belief in God. So that's, and again, that if you, and I learned this from Dr. David Alexander, that if you take it again, what is at the end? What is at the end is the city of New Jerusalem. So again, it's us again awakening again to the God of the universe. So, and again, from a lot of the stuff from the Old Testament, again, that was tribal tradition. A lot of that stuff, again, the sacrificing to gods, a lot of that, a lot of the rules and things back then, again, it was because of where they were living in the desert. And I will pause there.
All right. Well, and just as a comment about Troward, I always had a hard time reading him because of the fact that there were no sentences. They were one paragraph was one page, and it was just constant reading, and you never get that little break with a period. And then and I couldn't. Now a lot of somebody's come along and actually put some punctuation in there, and it's a lot easier. It's a lot easier to read. But I was reading something on Facebook, and then I know it was an AI thing, and the same thing. It was one big, massive sentence, which should have been about 40 instead of, and I was like, reminded me of Troward, and I just couldn't handle it anymore. So, all right. So let's do our
song.
Yes, our song. Thank you.
There is love in every heart, even though it seems to be that each of us is living apart. Love is here if we can see. is all around and deep inside. Feel the love and share it onward. Love is rising like the tide. Happiness and joy uplift us when we walk the loving way, letting go of doubt and sadness. Love is with us through the day. Living love, inspiring goodness is all around and deep inside. Feel the love and share it onward. Love is rising like the tide. Know that loving light is guiding even in the darkest hour. Radiant light and colorful hue is displaying love from world to flower. Living love, inspiring goodness is all around and deep inside. Feel the love and share it onward. Love is rising like the tide. Living love, a life of beauty with a loving peace inside. Feel the peace and share it onward. Peace is rising like the tide. Light is rising like the tide. Joy is rising like the tide. Love is rising like the tide.
Thank you, John. That was beautiful. All right, so it is our time where we give the opportunity to give, and this is where we you have the opportunity to give by going to Zelle or to PayPal, and you can give that way. And you would go to sscofakron@gmail.com. That's SSC of Akron, AKRON, @gmail.com. Or you could send a check with the word Summit on it to 1199 Lexington Avenue, Akron, Ohio 44310. So with that, as we symbolically take our gifts in our hands, right top over left, and know with me that all that we have, all that we give, all that we received is truly blessed, and that it is going to the work of Summit Center for Spiritual Living and to the truth that sets us free. And so it is. Amen. Okay, John, how about some good and more good?
All right. You can sing along if you like. The good and more good is mine, and ever increasing good is mine. Unlimited and infinite good is mine. Wherever I go, I see good. Whatever I do, I feel oh so good. I'm worthy and entitled to good and more good. itself upon us, wraps itself around us. We give ourselves permission to accept more good, express more good. More good is ours, and ever increasing good is ours. Thank you, Spirit, and
Okay, thank you, John. And we have time for quick announcements, very quick announcements.
Yes, so ntmedia.org, that's where you find me most of the week, and most of the things that I produce are put on the Summit Spiritual Center of Akron Facebook page. And if you'd like a copy of the treatment that we did today for your own spiritual practice, just write me, Pastor Michael Mangus at gmail.com, Pastor Michael Mangus at gmail.com, and I'll send that back to you in a PDF. Pastor Michael Mangus at gmail.com. John, what are you doing these days? I know you're always busy.
On many other things, I blog a couple times a week, and you can find that at yeswise.com. Look for the Inspiry tab and button or whatever word. And then that's at yeswise.com. And then I also have music at johndavidmiller.com. And check it out, yeswise.com.
All right, Carol Ann, anything from you?
This is a week of paying attention to personal affairs and some of the affairs of my family. It's a time of stepping back and giving thanks, and also a lot of things we have to take care of. So I am excited knowing that right action is taking place in all of this.
Sounds wonderful. Okay, so Tim, anything from you? No? Okay. All right. Next week, our guest speaker will be Carol Ann Drake, and which I'm happy to say that. Week after that will be John Miller. The fourth week is myself. And then the fifth week, I don't actually have a speaker unless Tim would be available, and it happens to be Palm Sunday. So, which you can let me know if you are available or not. It'd be great if you could, but if
I'll consider that. I'll get back to you in the next few days. If
that
that's
sounds perfect. Thank you. Thank you. Because if not, we were going to do a talk. What is the wording I'm trying to say?
Discussion.
A discussion. Thank you.
Table.
I would prefer, since it's Palm Sunday, a speaker. So, and personally, but anyways, so with that, it is time for us to take a moment of silence, and this is where we have the opportunity to, during that silence, to just bring into our hearts and minds anybody, whether it be ourselves or family or friends or a coworker, that may need some healing, whatever the healing may be, and it could be that for the world, in general, but whatever it is, just know that it is happening right now, and that it is for the best and highest good of everyone. So with me, John will, can you give us a ding, and then we'll go into on his car? Thank you. Did you do it? There it is. Okay. Thank you. Okay, John. All right. Thank you. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. and all is well.
Life is real. Life is true. We are life. Living is me and you. Joy is real. Joy is true. We are joy. Living is me and you. Peace is real. Peace is true. We are peace. Living is me and you. Love is true. We are one. Living is me and you. Just me and you.
All right. Thank you. And that ends our service today. So, Hannah, if you want to